So my ring light has died. My camera flash is gonna have to do, and I'm always recording last minute. I've been moving a million parts a minute. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go off the top of the head, right? This episode is going to be more so reflective and thankful, because I want to talk about the history of the barbecue and the history of the cookout. Where does the word barbecue come from? The Taino people of the Caribbean, or the Arawak, depending on which version of history you listen to. And it comes from the Taino practice of slow cooking their meat over wood and fire. The Spanish come in, they colonize, and once they disrupt indigenous peoples and their practices, they observe their slow cooking traditions, and they call it barbacoa, which evolves into the word barbecue. Over time, especially in Jamaica, escaped Africans established these maroon towns. The maroon towns learned from indigenous Caribbean people how to use these slow cooking methods, and you get techniques like the barbecue technique of smoking meat over pimento wood, which is where the signature jerk seasoning and flavoring comes from, right? We see the era of chattel slavery in the United States of America. We see people throw these massive barbecues. Now, how do these barbecues come about? How are they portrayed? Well, particularly in the South, enslaved Africans and enslaved Black Americans are only given, parts of the pig guts, the pig head. Enslaved Black Americans and Africans learn to take all of the pig and use every facet of it. Intestines, feet, ears, eyes, heart. They use all aspects of the pig, and usually an older man who is sort of the head of or head in charge of the cooking. He takes it, cooks for not just his family, but the rest of the community, right? So we see this practice develop, and I'm greatly shortening it. We see this practice develop. We see it sort of becomes ingrained in the community, right? Once slave owners see that Black Americans are making good food with these pig remains and developing the American style barbecue we know today, white slave owners then utilize this to show that, hey, we aren't treating them so bad, quote unquote. When they do this, they're flexing to their abolitionist opponents, or they're trying to throw these elaborate big cookouts in political arenas to draw attention to themselves and look good. We all know the idea of the bake sale, the cookie sale that politicians in like movies and stuff will have to show that they feed the community and want to connect with the community. Same concept. They have their slaves cook these large, massive barbecues, pass it off as if they made it, as if it was their idea, as if it was their thing. Right at the end of chattel slavery, and as we get into the Reconstruction era, World War I, World War II, and the 50s, 60s, and 70s, in the wake of joblessness, newly freed Black Americans now had, because there wasn't really any opportunity for them to go anywhere. It was all new to them, right? We see that when people go through the Great Migration and travel north, and then they travel west, and they travel south, as it goes in the back and forth pattern, we see the creation and the development of regional forms of barbecue. People from Louisiana will move to Mississippi, and out west, barbecue may be a bit different, but we see the creation of not only regional styles of barbecue, but we see those mom and pop shops and those independent barbecue places that are known for, hey, this is our style of barbecue. We're selling it to you. This is what we're giving. This is what we have to offer, right? That was one of the main ways people could make money. If you can cook, you can always market yourself. People love good food no matter what it is. I read this article, The Art of the Barbecue, since the 80s, 90s, it being co-opted by white audiences, and that the Black community is slowly losing its credit for pioneering the American barbecue. The example that sticks out to me is author of this article I was reading was watching a Paula Deen episode. She was cooking barbecue, and she was in the city and talking to all white folks, but not a single Black person was interviewed or mentioned, or was barely in the background. In the 2000s and the 2010s and the 2020s, as we are now, we have sort of allowed the art of the barbecue to be a little co-opted. But even with the rise of technology and the desire for human connection, we still try to maintain that cultural aspect of ourselves. One of the things I've always seen is, we are the new adults. Why don't someone throw this? Who's getting on the grill? Who's this, that, and the third? If you have bigger family, you may see people throw cookouts for their church events, for the passing of a loved one, graduations, birthdays. If you have a smaller family, that may not be something you always do. But the art of the cookout is not just for family, it's also for friends. Recently, I threw a cookout, right? I called upon my friends and I had help from my parents. They came down and they enjoyed it with me. I found it amazing that I did something that a lot of people wish they could do and pray to do. I think the art of the cookout and the art of community is something that, as we become a more technological world, that it's at risk of being something that we lose, especially when we're all inside all day, especially because it's getting dangerously hot. It's too hot to go outside. Or, a lot of people are becoming more introverted. Actually, let me see that statistic before I just say that. I just love the aspect of community that still yearns for those traditions that our parents had. It was almost movie-like. Honestly, this is probably it for the episode. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that came and all my friends and family that came down with your boy. This is going to be a quicker episode only because I've been doing too much. And I mean that in a good way. I've been trying to establish the media brand. I've been trying to establish the podcast. And I've been trying to establish, my poetry. www.cultureandcommentary.com. We're getting back to the deeper history next time. What's this? July 3rd, July 17th. We're coming back with a deeper, more researched history. I just needed to take a reflective episode in between. Then the lack of scenery the last 2 episodes. I've been doing a lot of moving parts at once. So until next time, my name is Virginia J, the host of the Parlay and Bull podcast, giving you information after information after information after information and hoping you enjoy it. Peace.